This is Jacqueline with New Moon Oracle. I've been meaning to do this video. I'm overdue by almost a week. And it's in regard to the black eyes you see in a narcissist. And I, in a nutshell, had been asking God to guide me with the right words to say, to channel the right thing that people need to hear. And I actually drew a card, an oracle card, the hawk. And I asked God for guidance on what message I should try to get through about the specific thing about a narcissist. And what the hawk is vision. It's vision from a bird's eye view. It's that going high, seeing the big picture, and being able to look past what you're seeing in your immediate surroundings. So, what I wanted you to know was that the dark eyes that you see in a narcissist are absolutely real. If you've ever seen them, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Either you said the wrong thing or you did the wrong thing and you have injured the narcissist's ego, and they don't handle that well. The reason they don't handle it well is because the dark entity that they have within them wants you to be a slave. Basically, they want the empath, the person being abused, to literally be a slave in this narcissist's life. They want you to think the way they want you to think. They want you to eat what they want you to eat. They want you to act the way they want you to act. And when you step out of line, how dare you will see the black eyes. And the thing that any of you will be able to say, just like I can, when you've seen this, is that it's not a human being. I don't know any other way to explain it. It's as if a light flip is switched and this other thing comes out. Because I've literally had that happen where I said something that I didn't even know was going to trigger the narcissist. Like it was something simple. And the day that I remember it was about our kids. And I said something about, not letting the kids do that because that's dangerous. And I think that, we shouldn't let them partake in that specific thing. Something that I thought a normal mother would share with her husband, right? Like this, I don't feel this is a good idea for the kids to do. No, that enraged my narcissist. And he, who always was very mild-mannered, especially in front of other people, would flip like that and get right in my face, like right in my face. And he would glare at me with these black eyes. Now, mind you, my narcissist, both of the narcissistic people in my life that abused me for many years were blonde, blue-eyed people. So, very noticeable in a blue-eyed person. Like when their eyes turn that black and they're enraged and they're in your face, you realize that that is not a human being that behaves that way, especially over a comment like the kids shouldn't do that, or I don't want to go to that restaurant, or I don't want to take your abuse anymore. So the reason that I wanted to do this video today and pull an oracle card, I'm glad that the hawk came out, because that is the most important part to take away from this video. The narcissist, and you will know this if you have a narcissist in your life, this is the part about a narcissist that keeps you hooked. You don't see that it's a spiritual fight. You see a person that came home from work and kissed you on the cheek and said, I love you, and what's for dinner? And, hey, it feels like this is normal. This is feeling good. But then, out of nowhere, for no reason, you can literally be done with eating dinner, put the dishes away, go to sit in the living room with this person, and now you're with the enemy. From the time that you saw them in the kitchen to the time they went into the living room, something happened. Something triggered them. You said something, you did something, and maybe it wasn't even you. But what do? They turn into the dark entity. And what's happening with these people is they are void of the connection to God. And I know that is very hard to hear because just like you, I had this impression that we all come here, we're all creation of God, and that is true. God loves us all, that is true. But there's free will. And I never understood free will from a spiritual perspective. I thought, yeah, people can be jerks and that's their choice. No, 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 no. What these people have done somewhere in their life, I'm not sure why. It could be a number of reasons. It could be that they were so hurt and abused at a very young age that they decided that the only way to get ahead in life and to not let anyone hurt you again was to make money, take advantage of everyone along the way, and destroy and hurt people the way that they were destroyed. That in their head have been convinced that. And they've been convinced that by the dark entity, the devil. That's how it starts. Okay? And this legion works together. So not only are they convincing your, let's say, spouse in this situation, but then they start convincing or sending in those that are convincible, trickable, in as the flying monkeys. So not only might you have an abusive husband, but you might have his parents believing everything he says, right? You're the crazy wife. You're the wife that isn't being a good mother, and you're not providing what a woman needs to provide to whatever. Or you go to a job and you have a narcissistic boss, and pretty soon you're being stalked. The whole place is after you. They're writing you up for things you didn't do. They're accusing you of things you didn't do. You go to the break room and they all laugh behind your back and giggle, and you think that you're going crazy. No, what the dark entities of this world do, they trick and manipulate broken people into narcissism. They tempt people with power, with fame, with prestige, whatever. But they have tricked this person into not using their empathy, not using their love, not using any of that. And they do it at such a young age with these people that they do not form a normal psyche. All right. So that's why psychopaths are born. That's why they say narcissists are just born. They're just born that way. No, the dark entities have literally attacked these people. And so for that reason alone, I can have unconditional love for these people, but I don't love what they do, and I certainly don't love the entity that's in them. I hate the entity, and I can't be around that entity, and neither can you. Do you understand? There is a dark entity in these people, attached to these people, roaming around these people. I don't know if it comes and goes. I think it does because you will see that in their eyes. You will see that in their behavior. Excuse me. Many times when I would go to visit my mother, I did not know who I was going to get. Was I going to get the mean, nasty, vicious, talking about people, cutting people down, insulting me, everyone else? And then sometimes I'd get to her house and it would be the mom that I always wanted, right? She's baking cookies. She's talking about, oh, we should do this for Christmas. And she's being actually the mom that you've always wanted, right? Because you've been knowing this dark entity who is in disguise as your mom, for example. And so what happens is now the dark entity has their minions. They have been able to utilize the narcissist, the psychopath, the abuser, the the stalker, all of these people with this psyche that has been damaged by the devil, by trickery, deception. All of these people made a choice. In their brokenness, though, they may have thought that doing nasty things to nasty people is the only way you get ahead in this life. And you know what? I can see why people would think that, because it sure looks like it, doesn't it? It sure looks like everyone who cuts throats, chops heads, and divides and destroys sits at the top. But that's all a lie. And everyone has been fooled at some point, some of us more than others. And I want you to realize that if you were a chosen one and if you were brought on this planet at this time for this moment, and you have had a narcissist or narcissists, like in my case, and in most chosen people, they have had a lifetime of challenge, unnecessary abuse. And we have been brought to the edges where we almost didn't make it. Went to dark places, thought this isn't worth it. I can't live another day. I can't stand this pain. And the devil will try to do that. They want to stop your light from shining in this world. And your light shines on their behavior. Your light brings that fake mask that they all wear to the light. And you want to know what happens when that happens? They squirm. And we can see it right now. And that's why the hawk, I'm so glad that I drew the hawk because it made perfect sense. We need to look at the higher vision. Look in your own life. And even if you're not a chosen person who has gone through a great many tribulation, who has had one thing after another in their life not work out, even though you've been standing strong with God, you have been doing what you're supposed to do, you've been loving, you've been kind, it is because the dark entities in this world who are driving the narcissists and have stolen those souls, really. People fell for their manipulation for whatever reason. Now they are using these people to dance through the world and put out the chosen one's light. So they will, like a moth to a flame. I mean, light brings out the bugs, right? When you put a light on, the moths will attract to it because they don't have their own source of heat and light. They have to go to it. So the narcissists do the same thing. They're void of empathy, emotion, humanity. And until you realize this and stop looking at these people like your mother, your friend, your boss, you are not going to be able to wake up from it. You have got to see that it's a spiritual attack, that these people have been robbed of their life force by trickery and deceit, but they chose that. And the other thing is, God sends his light, his messengers, his angels to give us messages and tell us you're on the wrong path. Narcissists are told. They are reminded by God. They are given examples. They're given times to repent and change their ways, and they keep choosing their own ways. So stop feeling sorry for them. They are dark entities. They're NPCs. They are not alive in the way that we know life to be. And the other thing I want to say, sorry I have a cold, but I have to get this message out while it's in my spirit. We are facing a time in this world where those of us that are chosen have to do our job. It's now. The whole world, all the narcissistic matrix that has been built around us to give us a false reality is crumbling before us. We are in a time right now where we are splitting into a new world. And this is the time that we need to stand with our light strong. And that is why you've been attacked your whole life. That is why you've been ill and sick, and nobody could tell you what's wrong, but you're constantly sick. Maybe you're constantly getting colds, like me. I've been, ever since I've started talking my truth, I have been getting colds where I can't talk. And that seems really ridiculous. And it's a really important, message for me to tell you is that people will say that you're ridiculous. When you say things like this, they will say that you're making excuses. You made bad choices in life, and now you're trying to blame it on a spiritual reason or blame it on another person. No, I'm not. No, I'm not. There are evil, dark entities running this world. And the battle is won. It's already won. We have to hold the light. We have to stand in our truth. We have to open our eyes and see the spiritual battle before us. Do you understand? Because until you do, the devil will continually tell you and send people in your life to tell you, but Jackie, that's your mom. She gave life to you. She put a roof over your head. They don't know any of the abuse, the witchcraft, the stealing of souls, the stealing of energy. It's all very real. And I only know that it's real because it happened to me my whole life. And the whole time it was happening to me, and I tried to talk to somebody about it, whether it be a therapist, a friend, a spouse, a child, it didn't matter. They looked at me as if I was unhinged, if I was making excuses for my life, if I was playing the victim. No, my friend, I am very powerful. I am a spirit warrior. Do you understand? These dark forces have been trying to take you down and me down because we are powerful. And you are here right now in this planet, on this time, in this earth right now to defeat those forces. That is why you are here. So when you see a person that can get in your face and their eyes can turn black and they can look like they want to kill you, that demon wants to kill you. That's exactly how it feels. And yeah, that is the mother that gave birth to you. That is the husband that you traded vows with and said he was going to love you forever. That is the NPC, the void person who can fake emotions and fake joy and fake, but if you've ever been with one, you can attest to the fact that they're never joyful. And when you are joyful and laughing from your stomach and just like, full of pure joy, they will try to rob it from you or get the black eyes because they're so jealous of it. They want to take it from you or they want to squelch you and destroy you. And then the next time you see them, they'll come out, mom who's baking cookies and, wants to go to the park with you. And then the next minute you see her and you say something like, Mom, I would rather not go to the park because I have allergies. And she doesn't like that comment. And all of a sudden, her eyes turn black and she gets in your face and looks like she wants to kill you. Don't be fooled. That is not somebody with a personality disorder. That is not somebody who's just upset with you and can't handle their emotions. That is an evil entity. Do not fall for it. Do not go near these people. You need to cut connection with them. They drain your life force. And you can't even know the ways they're doing it. You've got to cut from these people, get away from these people. So I know this is a heavy message and I know it's hard to hear, especially if we have somebody we love that is doing this. The other thing I've seen these people do is the smirk, where their eyes stay exactly the same. But, excuse me, folks, but they are able to give you this smirk like they know one up on you. And I've had this happen where maybe I said something like, well, I was dating that guy, and wouldn't you know, 6 months into it, he turned out to be a real jerk, and so I broke up with him. And then they look at you and go, uh-huh. And they give you that look like, I knew you couldn't have a relationship in your life. I know you couldn't succeed at that thing you wanted. And they give you this condescending, nasty smirk. And they will attack you when you're at your lowest. When you're sick lying in a hospital bed, they will come and wake you up, make noise. I suffered with migraines for years from all of the abuse, and he would literally when he knew that I had needed to lie down to get rid of a headache, he would go downstairs and decide to just turn power tools on. And then while he's using the power tools, he's got to turn on the radio. A person with God's love and empathy doesn't do these behaviors. Do you understand me? This is not a man who's just upset. This is a 3-year-old who has never matured, who the devil's energies have been able to latch onto, and they use this person to try to take you down. So don't be fooled. And then they will pull this shit where they say, oh, I forgot you were sleeping, or I had to get this project done. I can't do anything without my music on. Bullshit. Bullshit. Do not believe these people. I can't stress it enough. So if you have somebody that you look at and you think they're not themselves, they turn into a different person, their eyes turn black, please understand it's a spiritual war. And these people are not of God. And that's hard to handle. That's hard to hear when it's your parent, your son, your daughter, your best friend, the manager at the job that you absolutely love, but you're being tortured at. Think about it, guys. Just think about it for a while, okay? I love you. If this resonates with you, if you feel like this is something that makes sense to you, please like, share my videos, subscribe. And thank you so much for tolerating me with my cold today, but it was definitely a message that I had to get out. And obviously, something has been trying to stop me. So I hope this lands on the right ears. And I want you to know that God loves you and I love you. The collective loves you. And no evil spirit, no dark entity can destroy you or your mission in this world. I love you guys. You love you too. Bye.